Hello everyone, this is Dr. Hussain and you're here at the Bloomberg Educate. So this section will be the basic section of the chemistry wherein we will study about the basic concepts of the chemistry. We will revise the basic parts of the chemistry very briefly in this section, and today we'll be studying about the chemistry, what chemistry is and how is chemistry classified into different subclasses. So let's first go through the chemistry and see what chemistry is. So the word chemistry has been actually derived from an Arabic word alchemy or alchemia, which means the study or science of chemicals. The chemistry can thus be defined as the science dealing with the study of the chemicals. Uh, if we have a clear look at the structure of our universe, we find that there are chemicals only, and which are in fact made up of different types of elements. So chemistry can also be defined as the study of elements. So in proper terms, the chemistry can be defined as the study of composition, properties, and characteristics of different elements or matter. The change the elements or the matter undergoes, the conditions under which such changes occur, and the laws that govern these changes are all included in the chemistry. So, in chemistry, we try to seek out and study and to understand and as well as to explain the properties of different elements as well as the matter on the basis of its fundamental structure and composition. So the organized knowledge of chemistry is so vast that it has been subdivided into a number of branches like organic chemistry, inorganic chemistry, physical chemistry, analytical chemistry, biochemistry, etc. So the first thing that we do in chemistry is that we have to classify the matter. So if you look at the classification of matter, the entire universe consists of only two separate things or two entities, which are matter and energy. So in this section we'll be dealing with the matter. So let's see what matter is. So anything which occupies space and has mass is called as the matter. So for example, stone, clay, etc., they are all included in the matter. So matter can itself be classified into two different classes. There is the physical class of matter and the chemical class of matter, which is based upon the physical classification of matter and the chemical classification of matter. So the physical classification of matter is based on the physical state under normal conditions of pressure and temperature. Based on physical classification, matter can be a solid, liquid, or gas, and there are other different states of matter also, which are known as plasma and Bose-Einstein condensate. So if you look at plasma, what plasma is? Plasma is when the temperature is very high and it's not normal. That is, it's too high of the range of around 10 to the power 7 Kelvin. Then there are four. Then there is a fourth state of matter also, apart from solids, liquids, and gases, which we call as the plasma. So plasma is a highly ionized gas, and it can be formed when the gas is heated to tremendously high temperatures. So this is the physical classification of matter into solid, liquid, gas, plasma, and Bose-Einstein condensate. And similarly, when we look at the chemical classification of matter, all the material that is found in nature is made up of one or more than one substances. The material which is made up of only one substance is called as the pure substance, and pure substance itself is of two different types. It can be an element or it can be a compound. While as if the material which is made up of more than one substances and are not pure, then we call them as the mixtures. And mixtures itself can be divided into two different types, that it can be a homogeneous mixture or it can be a heterogeneous mixture. As you see on the left side, there is the classification of the universe into matter and energy, and then how the matter is classified into physical and chemical classes, and then how the chemical and physical classes are subdivided into different sections. So we'll learn about them one by one. We'll start with the elements, which is classified into the metals, non-metals, and metalloids. So let's have a look at the element, what an element is. So element is the simplest form or the purest substance which can neither be broken or nor built from simpler substances by ordinary physical and chemical methods. So elements are further classified into based on the physical state into three different subtypes. It can be a metal, non-metal, or a metalloid. So what are metals? So metals are, as you know, they are solids and they are normally hard. They have luster, they have high melting point, and they have high boiling points as well. And we also know that the metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. And some of the other properties of metals are like they are malleable and they are ductile. And the examples of the metals includes iron, copper, zinc, and majority of the elements that you see in the periodic table, they are metals. Now, non-metals. What are the non-metals? Non-metals are the elements with properties opposite to that of the metals. They are found to be present in all the states of the matter. That they can be solids, liquids, or gases, and they do not possess luster, and they are poor conductors of electricity and heat. And they are also not malleable, and they are not ductile. And if someone asks you to give examples of the non-metals, you can say hydrogen gas is a non-metal, oxygen gas is a non-metal, and nitrogen is a non-metal, and then sulfur, which is in the solid form, is also a non-metal. Now, looking at the metalloids, metalloids are the elements which have properties common with both the metals and non-metals. They are fewer in number, and the examples of the metalloids are arsenic, bismuth, and antimony. They are all included in the metalloids. Similarly, if we look at the compound, a compound is a pure substance containing two or more elements combined in a fixed proportion by weight, and can be decomposed into elements by suitable chemical methods. Moreover, the properties of a compound are altogether different from the constituting elements, and the examples of compounds are like common salt, it's a compound, and water is also a compound. And the compounds have been classified into two different classes. One is the inorganic compounds, and the other one is the organic compounds. The inorganic compounds are the compounds which are obtained from non-living sources, for example minerals, marble, gypsum, washing soda, rocks, common salt. They are all included in the inorganic compounds. And if you look at the organic compounds are the compounds which are present in or obtained from the plants and animal sources. And one of the important features of the organic compounds is that these contain carbon as their essential constituent. So whenever you find carbon in some compound, you can say that this is an organic compound. And the examples of organic compounds include the carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Similarly, if you look at the mixture, which is another class of compounds, then it's a non-pure compound, and the combination of two or more elements or compounds which are not chemically combined together may also be present in any proportion also. We call it as a mixture. And the mixture, the components of the mixture do not lose their identity and properties in normal terms. And mixtures are divided into two types. One is the homogeneous mixture, and the other one is the heterogeneous mixture. So the homogeneous mixture is the mixture which has a uniform composition throughout, and there are no visible boundaries normally of separation and between the different constituents of the homogeneous mixture. And similarly, the heterogeneous mixture does not have the same composition throughout and has visible boundaries of separation between various constituents. So this concludes our today's lecture. I hope that you guys like this lecture, and until our next lecture, take care of yourself. Bye.